Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video, another discussion video for all of you guys. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about potentially seasonal Yu-Gi-Oh anime. Now, at the time of recording this, Jump Festa has passed. I've blabbered about it enough, but you know that we do not have any news regarding the next card game Yu-Gi-Oh anime. Yes, the Chronicles is starting in April, but that is going to be uploaded on YouTube. It's not going to be aired on TV, and it's not going to be the traditional Yu-Gi-Oh anime of duelists playing the card game to save the world under ridiculous circumstances. And so in light of this, a lot of people have asked the question, could Yu-Gi-Oh become a seasonal anime instead of a weekly anime? Now, Yu-Gi-Oh has always been a weekly anime, and basically what a weekly anime is and means is it's a show that just goes every single week until it ends, taking minimal breaks. And that is how the Yu-Gi-Oh anime has always operated. Heck, even between shows, from 7s to Go Rush, from Zexal to Arc 5, from 5Ds to Zexal, there have been no breaks between those shows. We did have a break between Arc 5 and Vrains, and then Vrains and 7s, but like, one show ends after 3 years, the next show starts for 3 years. It really is crazy. And so let's dive into this whole seasonal Yu-Gi-Oh anime possibility. First of all, I do want to say there are some pro arguments to be made. One of the biggest is it allows the animation to be a lot more crisp and a lot more high quality. If you are giving your studio and the team a lot of long breaks between seasons, then I think the animation quality is going to be really, really good. And if Konami Studios is going to be making everything in-house now, which is what a lot of people believe is going to happen, and they have put an emphasis on high-quality animation, I mean, you can see it in the Chronicles trailer. The animation quality is crisp. It's gorgeous. If that's the case, the argument can be made that a seasonal anime would be more in line with the values that Konami Animation has set out for their studio than a weekly running anime. It's hard to do crisp animation quality week after week after week. I mean, you can do it, but it's just going to be crazy expensive and probably very difficult and not really realistic. So higher animation quality is certainly a big benefit. I think planning out a series, you give your writing staff more time to potentially plan out a show and the direction of the story and where you want it to go. But I do want to talk about a couple of issues as well. So for me, Yu-Gi-Oh has always been a weekly anime, and I don't know if a seasonal anime would honestly work with Yu-Gi-Oh. And I know there's a lot of pro-seasonal arguments. That's where anime is headed. The animation industry is terrible. You know, and I'm not going to argue any of those. All of those, I think, are very fair points. But something that I think makes it difficult to make Yu-Gi-Oh seasonal is the product release schedule that coincides with the anime that's airing. Whatever anime is airing, there are always going to be sets that come out every few months that correspond with that anime. So if an anime is going to be seasonal, it's going to go 3 years, and it's only going to be every 13 episodes, and then it takes like a 39 episode or 39 week break, I should say. Like, the release schedule for that is going to seem really strange to be releasing support for an anime that's really not existent. And I think that's the other big thing. When we say seasonal anime, there's really two types of seasonal anime. There's the 12 to 13 episode seasons, and there's the 26 episode seasons. If Yu-Gi-Oh is ever to go seasonal, it would have to be 26 episodes. I'm sorry, but being on air for 13 episodes, taking a 39-week break, and then being back for another 13 episodes, for a show like Yu-Gi-Oh, I just think that would be a total failure and miss the mark very badly, in my opinion. Now, I think if it was 26 episodes, which is basically 6 months, you're on air for 6 months, you take a 6-month break, you're back for 6 months, I think that could work. I still have my concerns with it, but I think it could work, and I certainly see the benefit of Yu-Gi-Oh going seasonal. But I want to propose something regarding the Yu-Gi-Oh anime and the future of it. I think that Yu-Gi-Oh anime could still certainly be a weekly running show. I think what would be a much better option than seasonal is just taking longer breaks between the two shows. And what I mean by that is Go Rush is ending in March. Let's take a year off. I know that's crazy coming from me because, I don't want Yu-Gi-Oh! To end, but if it's at this point, it's at this point. Let's take a year off, and then when we come back, we are going to run consecutively weekly for 2 straight years, much like Sevens did, or maybe 3 years. Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime has always operated like no problem running weekly. I shouldn't say no problem because obviously there are some behind the scenes issues that have popped up with a lot of these shows, but by giving the writing team and whatever studio's working on the anime a 1-year break between shows and then returning for 2 years and then taking another year break, I think in that year break, they can get so far ahead on production that they can make a really, really good show without sacrificing the quality and having some of these behind the scenes issues rise like we saw throughout Vrains with the recaps in the first season, or even towards the end of Arc 5 when animators were tweeting out that, they had no idea what they were supposed to draw days before the episode would go on TV. And I'm sure there's plenty of times where that's happened throughout all the shows that we just don't even know about. So I think taking longer breaks between the shows is a better solution than turning it into a seasonal anime. And I think that's more likely because the product releases then would not be really as disrupted by the show being off air as it would be if it was seasonal. But I think this is a really, really good discussion point. Again, we have no idea if we're even getting another Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. The reason I actually was inspired to make this video, not only because I've seen so many people suggest, what about Yu-Gi-Oh! Turning seasonal, but I saw Vanguard, and shout out to the Vanguard fans. I think when you think about card game anime, I think you think Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I think a lot of people think Vanguard as number 2. And Vanguard came out over the last weekend and announced that they are going to be doing anime through the year 2030. Man, wouldn't that be nice if a company let its fans know the 5-year plan for what the anime series was going to be? Wouldn't that be so nice? So Vanguard has another 5 years to go, but Vanguard has done seasonal anime, and it will continue to do seasonal anime. And so I thought about it, and I was like, would that work for Yu-Gi-Oh? I mean, I think it could. I think I'd rather see, again, the longer breaks between shows and then return to a weekly format and then take a longer break again. And maybe that's what they're doing right now, but who really knows? I think because Yu-Gi-Oh has been weekly for 20 years, maybe it's just hard for me to envision it as seasonal, but maybe the people that say, hey, this is where the animation industry is going, maybe they're correct, and maybe the next Yu-Gi-Oh anime is going to be a seasonal one. But if it is going to be seasonal, I think it has to be 26 episodes per season. I think 12 to 13 episodes is way too short for a show like Yu-Gi-Oh, but either way, it'll be exciting and nerve-wracking to see what direction they head in, because the other option is, well, we just never get Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime again, and sadly, that is a legitimate route that they go at this point. So, fingers crossed. We'll hope for the best. But anyway, guys, I'd love for you to continue the discussion down below in the comments. Let me know what you think of my thoughts, and please give your thoughts as well. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.